Okay, so go ahead and tell us your name, age, and your art.
My name is Josiah. I'm 19 years old this year, and I like playing a classic jazz piano style called ragtime.
Okay. What does it mean to be an Asian American artist?
I think it means that I come from a certain set of stereotypes, and also I come from a certain musical background and training that comes from being part of an Asian family.
Why did you decide to pursue this career?
I decided to pursue music as a serious interest because it is it's an immutable part of my identity, and it's something that I can't live without. No matter where I go, people associate me with piano, and it's something that drives me, that moves me forward.
How did your parents respond when you told them that you wanted to be an artist?
They initially responded with a little hesitancy, but as I continued to strive forward and improve myself, they eventually got the hint that I knew what I was doing.
Do you feel that your race is keeping you back in this career?
I feel like the stereotypes keep me back in my career somewhat because of Asians being a minority and Asians coming from a very strict family background that it usually is not stimulative to creativity.
What are the pros and cons of being an Asian American artist?
Some of the pros of being an Asian American artist is that, for example, we have a certain background and training musically. Most Asian kids are forced into classical music at an early age, and as such, we have a very complex and very deep background in classical tradition, and that helps me a lot in a style of music where every last technical detail is important. However, the cons of being an Asian American artist is that there is that stereotype. There is the fact that Asian American itself is a condition, it's a restriction, it's a handicap, and people tend to look at you as an Asian American rather than as an artist.
Can you tell us an instance where you ran into a particular obstacle in your career?
I feel like the greatest obstacle in my career is probably the mentality and the focus that it takes to transcend the art form as it is. It's one thing to be successful in your art. It is another to create something entirely new and fresh and to leave a legacy behind.
Have you had any obstacles in your career, especially pertaining to racism?
I feel like the label Asian American has held me back and closed a few doors for me because people do put down say perhaps piano talent to the rigorous education that that Asian parents force their kids into. The popular image of an Asian kid spending hours at the piano learning songs almost robotically is a very common image to a lot of Americans, and because of that, we are seen as having no creativity, as if we don't have that artistic mentality. And that holds us back some and closes a few doors for us.
Is there a stereotype for Asian artists?
Yes, there is. A lot of people seem to see Asian artists as perhaps robots or copycats of people before them. The popular image of a young Asian pianist is in a small tuxedo and or a dress, performing classical music almost verbatim, without or with little emotion and expression, when in fact a lot of us play to express.
Why do you think there are so few Asian American artists in the media?
I feel like it comes from the family culture that we've been brought up in. Asian parents worry about the financial stability and the financial security of their kids in their future, and as such, a lot of Asian kids, even if they do possess a certain talent or passion, that their parents would drive them towards a more stable or a more well-paying career, such as perhaps being a lawyer or a career in medicine or things like that. And because of that that focus on financial stability, a lot of talent is squashed out, and some kids don't receive the support or the support they need to pursue a career in music.
In your opinion, what are the misconceptions about Asian American artists?
I think the greatest misconception about Asian American artists is that. I'm sorry. Can you ask that again?
It's okay. In your opinion, what are the misconceptions about Asian American artists?
Some of the misconceptions about Asian American artists is that we tend to cater to a popular demographic in order to be successful. And for a lot of the Asian American musicians that I know, some of my closest friends, they play to express themselves and to put out their own emotions, as opposed to, like, for example, say a popular group like Far East Movement or perhaps Timothy De La Ghetto. They cater to a very popular demographic, and that's usually the only public image of an Asian American musician. But the fact is, there are a lot of us out there who play to express and to create.
What do you wish to see achieved from Asian American artists?
I would like to see the label of Asian American to be broken and not seen as a handicap or a restriction, because when people look at Asian Americans, like say Jeremy Lin, they look at him as a guy, the first Asian American to play at a high level, the first Asian American to do this or that. When I make music, I hope that by playing music as I feel it, that I can be seen as more of an artist, and that my Asian American heritage is not seen as something that I create success in spite of, but rather as a result of a unique cultural background.
What is one thing you believe will help Asian Americans to be more noticed in the media?
I think if more Asian Americans were to play to express themselves, rather than to cater to a popular demographic, then perhaps we'll be taken more seriously, and our art will be reevaluated as an expression, as derivative of what we feel, where we come from, and what we believe in, as opposed to something that we are doing just to make money.
Thank you, Jason.
Thank you.